開幕からドジャースの強力打線を支えていましたが脇腹を痛めILに入っているマックス・マンシー選手、ファウルテリトリーの番組に出演し、自身の怪我の状態について、ホームランダービーやオールスターゲームでチームメイトのテオスカー・ヘルナンデス選手や大谷選手が活躍したことと、大谷選手がフィリーズ戦で盗塁を成功させた後グローブに入った土を落とす動作が挑発的だと見られた疑惑について、大谷選手の英語での会話とよく使う定番フレーズについて、来年は開幕戦が日本で開催され2年連続の遠征になることについてコメントしていました。
Actually, you've been out for how long now? Well over a month, right?
I mean, May 14th, I think, was when I went on the IL. So, yeah, we're 2 months, a little over 2 months at this point.
Okay, what are they? I mean, I did an oblique once, and you know I know what it feels like. What are they doing for you? Because is there any concern like this has lingered way longer than almost anyone? Because usually, a month is like a long time for oblique. You're going on 2 months. Is there any worry about there's something else we're missing here? Because I know you've had all the scans, right? Had CAT scans and MRIs and everything, and they're massaging it and they're lasering it and you're doing the throws onto the wall, right? But is there any worry that why this is taking so long?
There's definitely some worry, and that's why, like I said, I've gone in and done a whole bunch of testing and scans. We've done it on the side, we've done it on the back, we've done it on the hip. We've been checking everything. We've checked for, stress reactions in the bones and all this kind of stuff. And, we just really haven't been able to nail down exactly why it's been taking so long. When we talk to the doctors, it's, I think the reason why it's been taking so long is just like the size. It wasn't just one spot on the muscle that I had hurt. It was the entire thing. So, you're talking like from up underneath the rib cage all the way down to the hip where it's connecting. It was a large area that I had hurt instead of just a small, tiny spot. And I think that's just why it's been taking so long.
What are you able to do? Because I've seen teams that bought special like squat rack bars for guys who had elbow surgery, and they're holding the squat rack bar and still doing squats. What are you able to still do as far as like keeping your strength up? Obviously nothing rotational.
Oh, we've actually been doing a ton of that stuff because we've been trying to strengthen the area around it. At this point, we're throwing med balls pretty good right now. We're actually doing quite a bit of rotational stuff. We're hopefully progressing into a swing pretty soon. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but hopefully extremely soon. And from there, we're just trying to take it slow and make sure that.
Max, what about your thoughts on the game? Were you able to check out the game in the Derby and your boys showing up with some pop, Teo and Ohtani?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch the Derby. The Derby was always a cool thing for me. Unfortunately, I was only able to watch some of it. We were at Disney with the kids for that day. It felt like a good day to take the kids over there. So I was kind of watching on my phone, checking the updates, checking everything, and then when Teo won, the group chat was going nuts, obviously, and then got to watch the All-Star game. That was a lot of fun. Show did what he always does. It's I really wasn't surprised at all that he hit a home run right there. It was I was kind of expecting it actually, and see Willie go out there and get a hit. That was pretty fun too.
Max, two questions on one. You're at Disney. Did you see the beginning of the home run derby or the end of the home run derby?
The end.
Okay, good. So you missed the national anthem.
I think everybody heard about the national anthem, even if you didn't see it.
I think it was worse. I think it was worse in person than it might have been on TV because I tried to show it to some friends and they're like, "That's really. I don't think it's that bad." I'm like, "You should have been there in person. Trust me." The vendors I was standing next to, like the guys, the beer people were like, "What is she trying? She can't. This can't be real." So okay, that's good. You missed that. Now, second thing is, what'd you think of the uniforms? Because Shohei running around the bases right there, he looked like he played for the Miami Marlins.
I thought the National League ones actually weren't that bad with the black and the blue, but the American League ones, that was the interesting choice to say the least. I wish they'd go back to the old way they did it, just like everybody else, where you wear your team jersey and then maybe you wear a different hat. Getting to wear your jersey in the All-Star game is a really cool moment, and I've been thankful to do one of each. And I definitely prefer wearing the actual jersey and not the All-Star one. I think it's you get the patch on there. It's pretty cool, and I think they should go back to that.
Max, I'm gonna approach this one delicately. It's fun. It's funny, but we're on national television these days, so we haven't had you on since there was a moment that went viral with Shohei Ohtani's celebration. We're not going to show it. I don't know if you caught it. Can you give us any insight? Because I feel like this is the show that would actually ask the question, but appropriately. And was he made aware that maybe, he should approach the celebration a little bit differently? It was very innocent, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Anyone that thought that was a celebration, you really need to check yourself. He slid and he got a bunch of dirt into his mitt. He was trying to get the dirt out of his mitt. I saw it go viral, and I started shaking my head, and I just saw all these idiots making all these comments on it. And he slid, and when he slides, he puts his hand down, which is why he wears those big Mickey Mouse gloves. He's trying to protect his hands, and a bunch of dirt crawls up in there. It happens all the time. I wear a sliding mitt, and every time I slide, the dirt goes all up into the sliding mitt, and so you take it off and you shake it. Now, granted, he probably should have done it a little bit better than the way he did it, but it looked pretty bad. But yeah, it was it's about as innocent as you can be.
Did anyone
tell Ohtani? I mean, I'm like, hey, dude, this went viral. It's not you, but
I'm sure a bunch of people did. I obviously I wasn't on the road with them when that happened, so I wasn't able to hear what was going on in the clubhouse. But I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Miggy Rowe had some comments for him on that one.
He's the one that has the comments. Well, Soto had some comments too. Did you happen to hear Soto's comments during the All-Star game about who he wants to play with?
Well, I mean, I think everyone in the world wants to play with Shohei. It's obviously that'd be really cool if you add Soto to the lineup, but just saying, I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't want to play with Show.
Max, we had Tyler Glass now. I mean, just prettied up. I mean, hair perfect, face perfect, perfect suit, shoes. I mean, the whole deal, right? I mean, he
smelled great too.
Oh, his hair smelled delicious.
I'm sure.
He made Kratz smell his hair. I mean, listen, he was in all his glory, okay? He's like, I get to walk the red carpet, all 6'6" of me, all pretty. But he did make an interesting comment as we're talking about Ohtani. He said Shohei no longer uses a translator and that he speaks perfect English. Now, I've heard this from other people, but to hear a teammate say it opened my eyes a little bit. So, how do we get Shohei on the show, and have you seen him speak perfect English?
Perfect English is definitely an overstatement. He can hold a good conversation with you, but perfect English, that's a bit of an overstatement. Glass, come on now. You're putting the guy in the bad spot when you say something like that. He's worked really hard at it, which is also not surprising to me. Just seeing his work ethic with everything else, he can hold good conversations with you, but he holds a good enough conversation that you forget that there's a language barrier. And so you'll start throwing words out there and he'll stare at you like, what are you talking about? I don't understand that. And so, that's where he's at with that, I think. And it's really cool to see him be very involved with the teammates and interactive with the teammates. But, he still has to use a translator for some of his stuff, but he's been doing pretty good with it.
What's his go-to phrase? Because when guys learn English and they're really, really trying to use it more, they usually have a go-to phrase that makes everybody, like you're smiling right now. What's his go-to phrase?
Well, I don't know if he actually has one, but in all of our hitters meetings, he just says middle. We'll sit there and talk about our approach for the pitcher, and our hitting coaches will make each guy kind of say what they're thinking, so that way you have to have a plan. You can't just kind of just sleep through the meeting. And every time we get to show, he says, "I just look middle, chop down." And if maybe it's as simple as that for hitting, because he makes it look pretty easy, but it's middle. He says that a lot.
Hey, Max, speaking of Shohei, have you seen your schedule? It just came out. You guys are going to Japan. I know you already knew this, but you're going to Japan again. I mean, the Dodgers have been to Korea, Japan, Australia, Mexico. I mean, Dodgers should be like the world's team now, but are you excited about getting a chance to, one, go to Japan and then see Shohei in Japan?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a madhouse, but it's going to be very exciting. Korea was an awesome trip. except for I was sick during the whole trip. I wish that wasn't there because I hardly got to try any of the food over there. But I think Japan will be incredible. The way MLB does these international trips, it's a lot of fun. They do it upright. I know all the players have a blast with it. Unfortunately, it is a long trip, a long flight, and I think my understanding is we're over there for quite a bit. It's not just a short trip, and so that's, I think a lot of the guys were kind of reeling from the Korea trip this year, and so that'll be interesting to see how we're able to bounce back next year after that trip, and maybe having done the Korea trip this year, we'll have some tips on how to be a little bit smarter about some of the stuff we did.
That's a good call, though. It's a disadvantage. It hurts to start a season. That's clear. I think some people don't realize it, but
yeah, I think a lot of our injuries early on the season you can count to that. I know Jay, he was dealing with a little back thing. 14 hours on a flight and then you have to play on the turf. That's a long time. And I think it'll be the same in Japan next year. I think there's a couple domes that we'll be playing at. So you're talking about 14 hours and you got to play on the turf. That's rough on the body.
オールスターでの国歌斉唱の件はここでも話題にされていましたね。現地はどんな雰囲気だったのでしょうか。挑発行為だと疑惑を持たれた件はマンシー選手のようなチームメイトから説明を聞くことができ安心しました。英語での定番フレーズについてはマンシー選手がおっしゃっていたようにとてもシンプルに考えているということが伝わってきます。来年の日本での開幕戦はファンとしては嬉しいですが選手としてはかなり体の負担になってそうですね。マンシー選手、脇腹の怪我が早く治るといいですね。復帰を期待しています。